Step this way, Mr. Potter. Your passport has been flagged as fraudulent. The TSA officer's words hit me like a sledgehammer while my wife Happy smirked from behind the security checkpoint. Already through, already leaving. It was our 7th anniversary trip. I thought we were going to San Diego to reconnect. She was actually going to Cabo San Lucas under the name Melissa Reynard with $87,000 she'd embezzled through a fake contractor, a forged home equity loan, and a passport tampering scheme designed to keep me in federal custody while she disappeared forever. She picked the wrong husband. I've spent 12 years catching fraud for a living. What happened when I turned my compliance skills on the woman sleeping next to me will make your blood run cold. Viewers, have you ever realized the person you trusted most was systematically destroying your life? How did you fight back? Drop your story below. Before we continue, please subscribe, like and share. My name is Johnson Potter. I'm 38 years old, a senior compliance officer for a mid-sized pharmaceutical company in Denver, Colorado. For 12 years, I've built my career on one unshakable principle: integrity. Every contract, every audit, every regulatory filing passes through my hands with meticulous care. My colleagues call me the gatekeeper because nothing, absolutely nothing, gets past me. I met my wife, Happy Johnson, 7 years ago at a charity gala in Boulder. She was magnetic, all honey blonde hair and a laugh that could disarm anyone in the room. We married within 18 months. She made me feel alive, less rigid. Life isn't a compliance checklist, Johnson, she'd whisper, her fingers tracing patterns on my chest after long evenings. I thought she completed me. But standing in the TSA pre-check line at Denver International Airport on this humid Tuesday morning in August, watching Happy's lips curl into a smirk as the officer motioned me toward the screening room, I realized something terrifying. I didn't know my wife at all. The overhead fluorescents buzzed. My boarding pass trembled in my hand. Her eyes gleamed with something that definitely wasn't concern. Mr. Potter, step this way, please. The TSA officer was a woman in her 50s, built like she'd spent decades in law enforcement. Her nameplate read Agent Briggs. She didn't smile. Behind me, Happy stood at the edge of the cordoned area, arms crossed, still wearing that goddamn smirk. Is there a problem? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Compliance training had taught me to stay calm, cooperate, document everything. Agent Briggs didn't answer. She pulled out my passport, flipped it open, held it under a UV light. Her eyes narrowed. Another officer appeared with a tablet, comparing something on the screen to my documents. Sir, are you aware that the passport you're attempting to travel with has been flagged as fraudulent? The words hit me like a fist to the sternum. What? That's impossible. This is my passport. I've used it for years. The RFID chip doesn't match federal records. The holographic seal has been tampered with. Agent Briggs's voice was flat, procedural. We're going to need you to come with us. I turned toward Happy. She was typing on her phone, not even looking at me. My stomach dropped through the airport floor. They put me in a windowless room with cinderblock walls and a steel table bolted to the floor. I'd been in enough corporate depositions to recognize an interrogation setup. The lead investigator was a Homeland Security agent named Torres. He had the dead-eyed stare of someone who'd seen every lie imaginable. Mr. Potter, when did you last use this passport? He asked. 3 months ago. A work trip to Chicago. My mind raced backward. I keep it in my home safe. The combination is only known to me and my wife. Torres exchanged a glance with Agent Briggs. Something unspoken passed between them. And where is your wife now? She should be out there waiting. She checked in for her flight 20 minutes ago. She's already through security. The room tilted sideways. Happy was leaving. Without me. The San Diego trip was supposed to be our anniversary getaway. 7 years, a beachfront resort, a chance to reconnect after months of her working late and me buried in audits. But she'd just boarded while I sat in federal custody. I need to make a call, I said. Torres slid a phone across the table. I dialed Happy's number. It went straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. Then my own phone, still in Agent Briggs's evidence bag, buzzed. Torres nodded, and she handed it to me through a plastic glove. One new email. The subject line made my blood freeze. You should have signed. The email was from a law firm I didn't recognize. Caldwell and Associates, Family Law Specialists, Scottsdale, Arizona. Dear Mr. Potter, this is a final courtesy notice regarding the post-nuptial agreement drafted 6 months ago at your wife's request. As you declined to sign said agreement, Mrs. Potter has proceeded with alternative asset protection strategies. My hands shook violently. Post-nuptial agreement? Happy had never mentioned anything. I scrolled to the attachments. Dozens of files. Bank statements. Property deeds. Then I saw it, a document titled Evidence of Fraud, Potter Home Renovation, 2024. I'd renovated our Cherry Creek house last spring. Happy insisted on hiring her friend from her marketing firm, a contractor named Vincent Callahan. I'd written checks totaling $87,000. The invoices looked legitimate. I'd verified them myself, like I verified everything. But according to these files, Vincent Callahan didn't exist. The business license was fake. The bank account those checks went to? Owned by a shell company registered in Happy's maiden name. She'd embezzled nearly $90,000 from our joint account. And now she was framing me for passport fraud to keep me from stopping her. A memory surfaced, sharp and sudden. 2 years ago, Happy came home late from a client dinner, smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. When I asked about it, she'd laughed, kissed my cheek, said I was being paranoid. You audit everything, Johnson. Even me. I'd apologized. Felt guilty for doubting her. Now that moment burned like acid in my chest. Agent Torres, I said, my voice hoarse. I need to show you something. He leaned forward, interested now. I pulled up the email attachments, my fingers trembling so badly I nearly dropped the phone. Bank transfers. Forged signatures. Shell companies. Everything documented in brutal, clinical detail. Happy hadn't just betrayed me. She'd been systematically destroying me for months, maybe longer. And I'd been too blind to see it coming. While Torres and Agent Briggs reviewed the documents on my phone, I tried to piece together how I'd missed this. Then I remembered something Happy once told me, years ago, after too much wine at a dinner party. Her first husband, a man named Gregory Lim, had been a real estate investor in Phoenix. Happy married him at 24, divorced him at 26. She always said it was amicable, that they'd just grown apart. But one night, 3 years into our marriage, she let slip that Gregory had accused her of stealing from his business accounts. He was paranoid, she'd said, laughing that beautiful laugh. Thought I was siphoning money into offshore accounts. Can you imagine? I'd laughed with her then. Now, I wanted to vomit. I pulled up Gregory Lim's name on a background check site I used for work compliance. There he was. Phoenix, Arizona. And there, buried in public records, was a civil suit. Lim versus Johnson, 2016. Allegations. Fraud. Embezzlement. Identity theft. The case had been settled out of court. Sealed records. Happy walked away with $120,000 and a non-disclosure agreement. She'd done this before. Mr. Potter? Torres's voice snapped me back to the present. We're going to need to verify this information. But if what you're saying is true, if your wife tampered with your passport and orchestrated this, you're not the one in trouble here. Where is she? I asked. Which flight? Torres checked his tablet. Southwest 2447 to San Diego. Departed 12 minutes ago. I stood up, my chair scraping against concrete. Then call airport police in San Diego. Because she's not going on vacation. She's running. Torres made the call. Within minutes, San Diego International was alerted. But I wasn't waiting for updates. I grabbed my phone and started digging through Happy's social media. Her Instagram had always been curated. Perfect photos, perfect captions. But I'd never looked at who she followed. Now, scrolling through, I saw a pattern. A man named Dominic Ashford appeared in the background of 3 photos from the past year. A work colleague, Happy had said. He ran a boutique investment firm in La Jolla. I reverse-searched his photo. Dominic Ashford wasn't an investor. He was a disbarred attorney with a record for securities fraud. I called our bank, my heart pounding so hard I could barely hear the customer service representative. The joint account we'd used for years had been drained 2 days ago, $340,000, Transferred in increments to avoid triggering alerts. The mortgage on our house? Refinanced without my knowledge, with my forged signature. Happy had taken out a $200,000 home equity line of credit. I was financially ruined. And she'd done it all while I was preparing for our anniversary trip. Agent Torres's phone rang. He answered, listened, then looked at me. They've detained her at the gate in San Diego. She tried to board a connecting flight to Cabo San Lucas under a different name. What name? Melissa Reynard. I didn't recognize it. But I didn't need to. Happy, whoever she really was, had been planning this for months. They let me make one phone call to her. She was in TSA custody in San Diego, and somehow, Torres convinced them to patch me through. I didn't want to yell. I wanted answers. The line clicked. Johnson. Her voice was cold, stripped of warmth. Why, Happy? Just tell me why. She laughed. Sharp, bitter. Nothing like the woman I'd married. You really don't get it, do you? You with your compliance manuals and your fucking moral high ground. You think integrity pays the bills? I built that life for us. The house, the cars, the image. And you just audited everything. Questioned everything. You stole from me. I took what I earned. Do you know how exhausting it is being married to someone who treats every conversation like a deposition? I needed out. And Dominic offered me a way. Dominic Ashford. The con artist. Silence. Then, he's not a con artist. He's smart. Smarter than you. He's using you, Happy. Just like you used me. Another laugh. Maybe. But at least he doesn't bore me to death. Torres was recording the call. I could see him making notes. This was evidence. Enough to bury her. But part of me still wanted to understand the woman I'd shared a bed with for 7 years. Did you ever love me? The line went quiet for a long moment. Then softly, I love the idea of you. The stability. The respectability. But love? No. Johnson. I don't think I ever did. Happy was arrested on multiple charges. Identity theft, fraud, forgery, conspiracy. Dominic Ashford was picked up in La Jolla 2 hours later. Turns out, he'd been under FBI investigation for a Ponzi scheme targeting middle-aged divorcees. Happy was just another mark, except this time, she'd been the one doing the marking. 3 months after her arrest, I got a message on LinkedIn from a man named Aaron Whitfield, a dentist in Albuquerque. Subject line, I think we married the same woman. Aaron had been married to a woman named Helena March from 2012 to 2014. Blonde, charismatic, worked in marketing. She drained his accounts, faked documents, disappeared to San Diego. I found 2 more men, one in Austin, one in Portland. Same pattern, different names, same face. Happy Johnson wasn't even her real name. Her real name was Miranda Frost. Born in Reno, Nevada. Juvenile record for check fraud. She'd been running this con for over a decade. It's been a year since Denver International. I'm 39 now. Single. Wiser. But also free. My name is Johnson Potter. I survived a marriage built on lies. And if my story saves even one person, it was worth telling. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.